What up, world? It's your boy Moe Better. I'm back. You remember, in real life with Moe Better. Actually, kind of late, running late on a piece that I said I would drop about about a month ago, a month or so ago. This demonstration is really about the value of the real woman from a real man's perspective. I actually say I'm kind of late, but I may not be because it may not be a setback, it might be a setup because at this time somebody might really need to hear what I'm saying. This may touch somebody now like it wouldn't have 2 months ago. And remember that sometimes we think things are setbacks when they're not. They're setups for greater situations that the Most High has placed for us. Again, this situation or this demonstration is about the definition of the woman from a real man's perspective. It's actually a piece from my book. It's from a chapter. I think it's chapter 7. And this piece is called Attentive. But it defines what I said it would. So you would catch it how I put it together. Hopefully. Read the piece. It says, some say that you can see a person's soul and innermost feelings by looking into their eyes. So I look into yours intensely. God himself said that it was not good for man to continue to live alone. So he created your gender for me. Entire nations have risen and fallen for the love of just one of your kind. So priceless and mind-boggling is your essence. The infinite universe is compared to you. I understand that you are a relic, so I examine you, coming to the conclusions and realizations that terminologies such as uniqueness and antiquity cannot define you. But the Epicureanism in my blood continuously drives me to examine the sights, sounds, smells, textures, and tastes that only you possess exquisitely. Unable to alone, for 9 months, one of your species allowed me to exist in tranquility, then tried to teach me to love in a world that you knew would teach me to hate. Blessed with the ability to empathize with you, even scares you when I express the reality of your value. You have a magnetism stronger than an astrologer's eyes to a star-filled night. Some stalk and gawk. I mentally, emotionally, and spiritually dissect you in amazement. Some lust. My attraction is in perspective. Some also stare. I admire. But because I seek the answers to your enchanted existence from you in the ways that I do, even by you at times, I'm considered to be infatuated when I'm only a physical manifestation of your dreams and fantasies, thought only to be in fairy tales, but actually materialized. So I'm envied, hated, and feared by both men and women who don't understand that I am only attentive. Now I present this piece because I feel that in today's societies, a lot of our women have been dealing with so much miseducation and the opposite of who and what she really is, the misdirection that when what she says she desires actually manifests, she doesn't know how to deal with it. So it's rebutted and rejected, not because she just desires to do that, but it's because what she has been reared and trained to do by design. My aim is to try to rebut that and let her see something completely different from those who really see what she is, by actually even defining those who see this in her. And first of all, I want you to understand what attentive is. Attentive means to paying close attention, to be alert or observant, an attentive listener, attentive to detail. Just looking at details, like an examination. Showing care for the needs or desires of others, caring or courteous. A lot of sisters get that today, but it's misconstrued to be something else, which is why I say, at in today's times, gentlemen are dead. We're just misconstrued to be tricks. Gentlemen are dead. Courteousness isn't gone. It's misconstrued to be something completely different other than what it is now by design. And we need to unlearn what we have been miseducated to believe. I'm going to define this piece. And I want you to look at the first phrase. It says that some say that you can see a person's soul and most feelings by looking into their eyes. So I look into yours intensely. When you're speaking to, or when we are speaking to a woman that we care for, we look into her eyes intensely. Look into the eyes intensely. That means extreme force, degree. It's great. It's acute. It's severe. It's exceptional, extraordinary, strong, powerful, potent, overpowering, vigorous, serious, intense. Heat is the definition. So when a real man is dealing with and or looking for a real woman, as Sarah, Rebecca, or Rachel, does it not compel him to do what the analogy states in the definition? It is a job that demands intense concentration. And when we desire another to be in our lives forever, or to see if we can get that far, we do this with and in the intent of seeing if this physical attraction goes beyond what we can see with the eyes, but also inside the eyes. Now, when you talk about looking inside the eyes, you ever see a doctor when you go into there and look in your eyes with that light? See, he's been trained to see something that a lot of us misconstrue and don't even understand. Every organ in your body, hear me, organ. So that means very, very serious. Every organ in your body is actually displayed also in your eye. A lot of us don't know that, but that's one of the things that we're doing. We're looking at that. And what we can touch, we're looking for what we can touch without the hands. The tangibility of our compatibility that extends beyond the physicalities. We're looking for that intensity. We're examining you. Not situations of intimidation all the time, as some people do. You had a phrase too that says, God himself said that it was not good for man to continue to live alone. So he created your gender for me. Now, from a biblical perspective, Adam was made perfect with a perfect brain and with an undefiled planet. Being a perfect man with a perfect brain and perfect abilities, do you not believe that Adam could still, from his date of being manufactured till today, could still be figuring out the magnificence of the planet that God made? We, and with as many people that are here today, specialists in whatever fields, have not found out all there is to know about the species or the specifics that they deal with. Birds, bees, the animals, the plants, the trees, and so on. You can be studying this for 40, 50 years, one species, one situation, 40, 50 years, and you still do not understand it. So can you imagine Adam with a perfect brain being able to study one situation? Could God have not made another awe-inspiring mountain? Another species of the king of the jungle? Could he have not made another form of whale? How about another form of gorilla? What about another planet or more stars? Could not, could, could, could not just one of these things, let alone all of them together, be enough for the man to be captivated by and with a perfect brain? Still today, yet God with his perfection and omnipotence, having unlimited power, able to do anything. Let's look at it. All powerful, almighty, supreme, preeminent, most high, invincible, unconquerable in knowledge and wisdom. Guess what he did? The person with the being with those abilities, all powerful, almighty, supreme, preeminent, unconquerable in knowledge, made you for me. He didn't make something else for me to be all that and inspired by but you. That's powerful. And that's how potent you are. Now think about that value. He can have made anything for us to be looking at another diamonds. Anything that we in our miseducated, imperfect human brains think about that is considered to be valuable. He didn't make those things for us. He made a woman. He made you. Now phrase 3 in this piece. It says, entire nations have risen and fallen for the love of just one of your kind. Whether it be love or just mere lust or infatuation, the intention of woman has done exactly that. Made men build nations, go to war, keep peace at times, and even die. What was King Solomon's issues at 1 Kings 11:4-9? Are you familiar with Cleopatra? Only male children received an inheritance. But Egypt at that time was left to her, a woman. Anybody familiar? We have a common name today. It's called Candace. It's actually Candace, and it actually comes from an ancient Amharic language, Ethiopia, to where actually there was not a king of Ethiopia. Well, there was a king, but he was actually ruled by the queen who actually had all the say so on what was going on in Ethiopia. You got the hanging gardens that were built for women and wives and different things. Countries have been named after wives and women and things of that nature. So do you understand where I'm going with that? You got phrases 4 and 5. We're going to put them together. It says that so priceless and mind-boggling is your essence. The infinite universe is compared to you. Overstand that you are a relic, so I examine you, coming to the conclusions and realizations that terminology such as antiquity and uniqueness cannot define you. Even though stars are not manufactured in the process of procreation when they are brought into existence from a nebula which is considered to be as the womb and stomach of a woman, the star is termed to be what? Born or birthed. Earth is termed to be what? A mother, a nurturer to all that we know life to be on this planet. And as vast and intriguing and complex as it is, you are not called anything by it. Even from the elders of writings and with those same writings since they began, the making of all there is compared to you. Kind of deep, right? Let's look at just a few of the words you are defined as here. Antiquity, beginning or origin, or a period of time most often synonymous with the term classical. What do you think of when you think of classical? And this is what you are defined as. You have priceless. Priceless means so precious that its value cannot be determined. So you think a guy got you for a house or a car, a diamond, 10-carat ring, or whatever you think it is. Think about that again. This is from a biblical perspective, from the Most High. If you believe in the Most High, He said that you're priceless. And what does He say? A priceless means so precious that its value cannot be determined. But in our imperfect minds, that's what we begin to believe, that we can have a price on this. So begin to rethink that. Have we already seen this from the above described? Now let's look at unique. Unique means being the only one of its kind, unlike anything else. This is not just you as the woman species, but this is every individual woman also. I'm going to get a little deep right here, but this is a real man's perspective and understanding of your value. Look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 4, verse 10, verse 12, verse 18, and verse 21, and then verse 25. These are the days in which the Most High was making things. And after each one of the created periods, God looked at what He made and said what? He said, it is good. These are stars, the universes. Understand that it's not one universe, they're universes. While they're whales, everything that we call great. He said it was good. On the 7th day or period, He rested because He allowed everything to begin to take its place in the cycle of life He made. Again, He rested on the 7th day, and He continued to make things from 1 through 6 and stated everything He made was good. Correct? Okay, now look at verse 31. 31 is very important. In verse 4, verse 10, verse 12, verse 18, verse 21, and verse 25, on these creative days, He said everything that He made was good. He said that everything was good, but not until He made you, the woman, the last of His physical creations that we know of. Did He change that phrase from good to very good in verse 31. Now, after all these creative days and all these things being made, He said it's good. It's not to say that those things are not good. They're great as well. But why did He change that definition when He made you? To very good. After He made you and making that statement, He then rested as you, the woman, being the key to our physical universe, was made to set everything that we call life into motion. That's powerful. Do you understand that about you? Did you ever look at those verses like that? Let's look at verse 6. It says, but the Epicureanism in my blood, the Epicurean, excuse me, says the Epicureanism in my blood continuously drives me to examine the sights, sounds, smells, textures, and tastes that only you possess exquisitely. First, understand what Epicureanism is. It is an ancient school of philosophy or thought founded in Athens by Epicurus. The school rejected determinism and advocates hedonism, pleasures as the highest good. So whatever it is that you like that please your physicalities, that's what really meant something. But at the same time, it was of a restrained kind. It was mental pleasures, was regarded more highly than physical. So the school of thought and the fine things, the refinement of, not the refinement, let me say, the finest of things in thought. So when you got something that you consider to be precious now, like schools of, like some people look at paintings a whole lot different than you, or a whole lot different than we do. It's art to them in a different degree than it is to us. And that was the ultimate pleasure, was held to be freedom from anxiety and mental pain. And if there are any men listening, can we agree that nothing smells, looks like, sounds like, feels like, nor tastes like a woman? And even the conscious sisters know it. That's why some of you act like you act. And for those women that don't, you need to teach them, but in the proper perspective. Got phrase 7. Says, unable to alone for 9 months, one of your species allowed me to exist in tranquility. Then tried to teach me to love in a world that taught me to hate. Does a mother not treat her child with delicacy while she carries it and teaches it to be a gentleman or young lady, even in a world that may have treated them or may have treated her horribly and caused her anguish, but she still teaches you to love? That's powerful. That's loving, that's nurturing, like they call it the Mother Earth. No matter what we do to it, drop bombs on it or whatever, guess what? It continues to try to replenish and sustain us. You got phrase 8. Blessed with the ability to empathize with you even scares you when I express the reality of your value. Be honest. In today's times, when a man approaches and converses with you and begins to speak with you and about you, when some of the things mentioned above, the first thing comes to your mind is clutch your purse and hide your bank accounts because this has to be game. He's up to something that I'm not willing to give. Our women have been so misguided that they don't even believe their value extends beyond anything but the moment or the very near future. Attention for the day. But I'll continue. Go to phrase 9. You have a magnetism stronger than an astrologer's eyes to a star-filled night. Again, everyone has their own taste, but beauty in that person's eyes is beauty in that person's eyes, and admire like the eyes of an astrologer to a star-filled night. Now, do we agree that we don't even have to be an astrologer, but we are still awed at a star-filled sky on a beautiful night? Even another beautiful woman, without being homosexual, will admire the beauty of another woman. Here is another thing about your beauty. This is going to get deep again, but something I want you to understand. If this is also from a biblical perspective, I want to ask you a question. Probably everybody's going to raise their hand. How many of you want to go to heaven or be next to God? All right, everybody. I want you to read Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. You as the creation of God are so profound that angels who are actually where you want to be saw your beauty, and that you are so unique, priceless, and beautiful that they actually left heaven to materialize into human form to be with you, and forever lost their position in heaven by falling weak to your kind. Now, if a powerful angel in heaven can become weak to you, how valuable are you for real? I want you to think about that and read it yourself. It's not something I made up. Phrase 10 says, some stalk and gawk I mentally, emotionally, and spiritually dissect you in amazement. Some lust. My attraction is in perspective. Some also stare. I admire. But because I seek the answers to your enchanted existence from you in the ways that I do, even by you at times, I'm considered to be infatuated when I'm only a physical manifestation of your dreams and fantasies, not only being fairy tales, but actually materialized. So I'm envy, hating, and fear by both men and women who don't understand that I am only attentive. I'm only examining you. I'm only paying close attention and detail to everything about you. So understand your value and relate that to you. See, this final part is really about the real man that sees all of the above and can actually relate these things to you. Treat you this way, and even overstands why you don't know who he really is. So please, sister, get out of this millennium thought process of independence that you have been tricked with in order to listen, in order so that you can really listen to a real man that can show you that the one who made you to be very good did not make you to be independent, but very, very compatible as a pair. Bone of man's bone, flesh of man's flesh. So your value, antiquity, beginning, or origin, or period of time, most often synonymous with the terms classical, priceless, means so precious that its value cannot be determined. Unique, meaning the only one of its kind, unlike anything else. Now, when you get this brother who can relate these things to you, and there is nothing coming with it as into give me, can you, will you allow me to, or anything other than actually trying to upbuild you or build you up, start paying attention. Sit back, don't become so rebuttal or trying to rebut a situation. Sit back and just listen sometimes. Examine it. Let me tell you, there's something that tells the truth about all things. So if this man that's displaying these things to you for real, time will tell. Treat yourself as precious as you have been defined here. Like the diamond you are. It takes thousands and thousands of years to make a diamond. Not saying you won't make that man wait that long. Thousands of years, we don't last that long. However the situation is, take your time. Become that diamond. Make him understand. No, make him understand that you are that diamond. Make him show you what you're talking about. That doesn't mean give me a trip to the Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, buy me a car, that's not what that means. It means let him show you. Because that's what caring will do. That's what attentive will do. It will continuously define these things to you, but at the same time, don't reject it. Try your best to learn about these things from yourself and appreciate that brother that's in your life. Again, understand or try to understand that we as a people, especially our women, have been misguided and miseducated to believing that your value is based on material objects. It's based on what a man can give and provide for you. And it's really not, that's not from a material perspective. So I really want you all to think about that. It's about what can he place in here? What can he place in here? What can he make you feel and see beyond sexual penetration? When he's not there, can you feel him? Because what he's implanted in you from your perspective and the value of yourself. Embrace these attentive men that can teach you who you really are.